Hello everyone, Nolan West here. Yesterday we returned to session to debate two House resolutions ending Governor Walz's emergency authority. We also debated another COVID-19 response bill and an insulin affordability bill. And in short, both the COVID-19 and insulin bills passed with wide bipartisan support, and both resolutions failed. One along party lines and the other with bipartisan opposition. Now, there's a lot of confusion about the two resolutions, and I'm hoping to clear that up in this video. And I also will be sharing with you the models that the governor is basing his decisions off of and the alternatives he could have chosen to the stay-at-home order extension. Both resolutions would have ended Governor Walz's emergency authority, but one kept in place important executive orders. So, if the governor's authority was ended without exception, we could have ended up with kids heading back to school the next day, and we aren't even remotely ready for that yet. But we are ready for government to function normally again, and our economy to begin the process of reopening. Right now, the governor is making decisions basically unilaterally with minimal input from the public. Our system was designed with the legislature as the voice of the people and the governor as the leader of the state. There's a reason why we're called representatives and the governor is the governor. My job is to represent 40,000 people in my district, and the governor's job is to lead the 5.6 million people of Minnesota. And as you can probably tell, the legislature is much closer to the people, and we have a far better understanding of their needs, and this is why the legislature makes the law, not the governor. I get a ton of emails every day, and I try and respond to every single one. The governor simply is incapable of that kind of connection because he can't possibly answer 500 or 1,000 emails a day and govern the state at the same time. It's just impossible. Governor Walz needed the emergency authority early in this crisis because we needed quick and decisive action. And the legislature is simply incapable of that by design. But now that we have a better understanding of our situation, we need to bring back the ability of the public to be involved through the legislative process. On Monday, I attended a briefing on the different models that the governor is basing his stay-at-home orders on. And I listened to these experts walk through step by step different models and how they reached their projections. They walked through 6 different models, but I want to focus on 2. First, the governor based his decision to extend the stay-at-home order to May 4th on scenario number 4. And in that scenario, for healthy individuals, it called for a 4-week extension of the stay-at-home order and an 18-week extension for high-risk individuals. At the end of the 4-week extension, healthy individuals would still follow social distancing for an additional 3 weeks, but they could be back in society. And compare this with scenario 3, which we were basically trying to implement with our resolution ending Governor Walz's emergency powers. In scenario 3, the stay-at-home order would have ended April 10th except for high-risk individuals. We would maintain social distancing for an additional 3 weeks for healthy individuals, and high-risk individuals would remain quarantined for another 13 weeks. Under this scenario, we could be safely bringing our economy back online while maintaining social distancing and quarantining those high-risk individuals who we have to be most concerned with. Now you might be asking yourself, how many more people will die according to the model if we go with scenario 3 over scenario 4? Well, here's your answer. 0. The modeling suggests that both scenarios have equal outcomes. Now, to be fair to the governor, his main concern about scenario 3 was that it would peak too early, and we might not have enough ICU beds at the time. And that is a legitimate concern, as ICU bed availability is often the difference between death and recovery. However, every step of the way, our healthcare system has outperformed expectations. We've ratcheted up production of protective gear and ventilators astronomically. And today, the Mayo Clinic announced that they could provide enough testing to safely begin to reopen the economy. And models to this point have overestimated the spread of the virus. And now there's models that project much lower impact than the ones I just showed you. And on top of that, a treatment could be developed any day now. An extra month of small businesses being shut down will ruin hundreds, if not thousands, of Minnesotans' lives. And to choose that, even though models say it won't save additional lives, I believe is the wrong decision. And I understand that Governor Walz is using an abundance of caution. But like I said earlier, I don't believe he has a grasp on the situation on the ground like legislators do. Many lives will be lost from this pandemic, but we know economic catastrophe doesn't just ruin livelihoods, it also takes lives. 1 in 5 suicides are tied to unemployment, and we've seen a massive spike in unemployment claims. Over 11% of Minnesota's workforce has applied for unemployment. That's horrifying. Studies done covering the Great Recession in 2008 have shown that there was an extra 10,000 suicides tied to that economic crisis. This is why I believe it's time to start reopening our economy. We have models that show an extension of this stay-at-home order won't necessarily save any additional lives, but we know for sure it will exacerbate this economic crisis we're in right now. I have no doubt that the governor is looking out for the best interests of Minnesotans, and I am not so arrogant to believe that I could be wrong, but I felt compelled to share this with you because there is a reasonable, evidence-based approach that can bring us safely back to reopening our economy. To the governor's credit, he did expand exemptions and allow more people to get back to work recently, but I believe we should do more. People are suffering, and we need a light at the end of the tunnel to get through this. All right, well, thanks for listening. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time.